Make sure you check out any links in the description to any articles that I may post. Make sure you think for yourself on this issue and come to your own conclusions. But something that I think has been lost in the discourse, especially the past couple of days, I know there's a lot of talk of midterm elections and Elizabeth Warren, Brett Kavanaugh. There's been a lot of other issues in the media and the attention. But something that I think really is ignored is just how much government spending is going on. And even under Republicans, government spending continues. I think as far as the normal strain of thought goes, people think of Democratic people more as spenders, and I think that is still true with wanting to increase certain entitlement programs. But Republicans, for the talk and the talk and the talk, are still spending a great deal, and ultimately, it's going to come down to a call from people to make government spending a bigger priority in the national discourse. And this is something that I just want to further a little bit, but it's clear that the country continues to spend and spend, and it's something that's harmful, that you're borrowing against the future generations kind of money, and it's something that other generations are really going to have to deal with, and kind of kicking the problem down the lane is something that people are worried about, but I think not worried enough. And it's going to come home to roost one day, and hopefully it's turned into a net positive as opposed to a net negative. But spending is never without increasing the value. I'm not just talking about being kind of a leveraged country and using borrowing as something that's beneficial, but racking on debt and taking on money that we were going to have to pay back. It's a question of just simple math and interest, and that at what point do you borrow too much where you're not even able to pay back the interest, in which case it's game over. The ship is pretty much sunk because you can't even make enough to pay the interest. Now, not to get into all too doomsday, it's the end of the world type of talk, but there is going to need to be some kind of call to action. And I think on the Republican side, because I think as far as Democrats go, I've never seen an indication to reduce spending. It seems to be spend. If there's another program and more money to shift around, and I mean, the party is starting to be more socialist, and which is, the problem, I believe it was Margaret Thatcher. The problem with socialism is once you run out of other people's money to take, there's a problem. So I do not think that socialist type of, or democratic socialist, same difference, moving money from one person's hand to another just because one person is richer and one person is poorer, I do not think is going to fix the solution of, booming the economy and trying to combat trillions of dollars in debt. But I think what we do need to have is both Democrats and Republicans voting for these Republican candidates, but saying we need candidates that are going to address this issue of government spending. How are we going to work around $1 trillion of debt? Why are we continuing to spend at such high levels? Is there any fat that we can cut back, to reduce the size of the government? And really, are we getting net neutral with all of our tax, or where is this money going in which we're wasting or overspending? And how can we address the issue of trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars of debt? I think the negative effects could be so serious if we just wait and then it just blindsides us. I think there should be a plan. It should be addressed. It should become a bigger part of the national discourse. Now, I know it's not an exciting topic. It's not exciting. I was going to say necessarily. It's not exciting, but I think there just needs to be a little bit more austerity or a little bit more conservatism when it comes to how much money we're taking, borrowing.